Hi, I'm Brian Naughton. I'm founding scientist at 23andMe. I'm from Dublin, Ireland.
So after dropping the DNA sample in the mail, we don't see anything until we get to our results. What happens to that sample once we drop it in the mail? Where does it go? Where does it end up?
So your sample actually gets shipped to our lab in Los Angeles, where it gets processed. There are 4 major components to that. It starts with DNA extraction, then amplification of the DNA, then hybridization, and finally analysis of the data to make sure it's good.
Okay, great. About how long does that process take to do all those steps?
So if you take all of the steps and you did them end to end, it would probably take 3 days or so. A lot of the process is just waiting for the equipment to become available because of volume.
I see. What of all those sort of 4 processes, which of those is the most time intensive of all of them?
The most time intensive is the hybridization step, which happens overnight. Amplification also happens overnight though. So there are 2 major parts where we have to leave the DNA for a while and come back to it. So it has time to...
About I'm curious, what's the most expensive part of the process?
So the chip and the reagents are really the expensive part of the process. When you buy the chip, you also get the reagents. Those are like the chemicals that you need to run the chip. The other expensive components are probably labor, obviously, because we actually need to hire what's called high complexity staff to run our process. These are CLS staff. And then the rest is actually fairly inexpensive.
What are are there any international restrictions? Like obviously I'm guessing if the lab time only takes, like you said, 3 days, but longer if you're processing multiple samples, does it take a lot longer for any international people who want to have this service done?
So the lab process doesn't take longer. Obviously the shipping is an issue, and shipping can be expensive if you're coming from Asia to California. That's part of the reason why we want to add another lab, actually, is to help with that. There are also issues with exporting DNA from certain countries. So China and India specifically have laws around what DNA you are allowed to export out of that country. So that plus other regulations regarding biological specimens mean that it's actually quite difficult to add another country to our list of countries.